Hello guys and welcome to the Things Every Starcraft Player Should Know episode 2. Today I wanted to talk about Simcity, which is essentially building placement, the way that you plan your base and how you can save yourself from difficult situations. I wanted to show you how important it is to plan your base and have it clean, as you should have your desk. So let me show you this example. This is a perfect example of a horrible base placement or building placement. You can see I have 4 gateways, robotics facility, forge, and a cybernetics core kind of spread around the entire base. Why is it so bad? Well, if we take a look at this forge and robotics facility, these are 2 important buildings. From the forge you're creating upgrades, and the moment that you are going to be, let's say, dropped with a Terran player of 2 medevacs, 3 medevacs, what they're going to see? Hey, it's a forge, an important upgrade is being made. Let's snipe it. You will have very little time to save your forge unless you already have an army prepared in here. Same goes with the robotics facility. These 2 pylons are powering 4 buildings. It's very easy to snipe them. There's not a lot of blocking for the army to snipe these pylons. It's just an easy target for the Terran, for example. Also, your army units, if they want to move around, they'll be going in a shape of a snake, one by one. And it's very easy to target fire these kind of units. If they will be attacking, they're going to be blocking each other on the way back. It's important to keep your buildings in a clean position. Not to mention that it's hard to find space to create a gateway. Your prop has to move around, and if you create another gateway, you're creating a wall that is maybe not meant to do anything. Try to be clean about it. I'll show you the second base. This is a much cleaner base. And even though there's only 1 pylon in here, I can create more in a very short distance. A probe from the gas takes just a couple seconds, if not even less, to create a pylon to power all these buildings. This is the same amount of buildings that I have. 4 gateways, forge, robo, and a cyber core. It's all clean. Forge tucked in an area of a base that is the most safe. This is the map of Jagannath, and this is the most vulnerable space to be attacked, right? Being dropped. Link stalkers, drops, nidus, everything. So this is the most safe place. This is where you want to have your buildings of tech, the Templar archives, the forges. Robotics facility is somewhat tucked in here as well. It's quite safe from the drop position, right? You can always try to notice from all different maps the area that you can be attacked from. This is the drop area, maybe Blink Stalker area, and so on. So you want to have these important buildings as far away from the danger as possible. Building placement can be really crucial in here, especially against defending drops. And let me show you the kind of things that I want to talk about. So this is a simulation that I did with my brother, and I wanted to show you how your building placement can impact a fight and how inefficient you can be trading with this. The Terran comes in and drops. You want to defend it, right? This is a very tricky position to defend. My forge is immediately targeted down, because my +1 has been spinning and the Terran can snipe it immediately. Look at how my army is being blocked by the buildings in here. A lot of my zealots are not fighting, the stalkers are not fighting. Colossus has a high range, so he doesn't really care. But I am taking a very bad fight in here that it could have been avoided if my building placement would have been slightly better. For example, if these gateways would be connected, maybe a cyber core connected to it as well, creating the least amount of occupied space with the buildings. There's a little space here, a little space here, and the units will be going one by one in here, blocking each other. This is an example of a very bad fight because of the building placement. My army was definitely capable of taking on his army without a problem, but I was losing a lot of the minerals and gas for no reason, simply because I was not planning this building placement in advance. This is a good example of a good Simcity against Zerg. Obviously, you do want to have a unit in here to try to block the links, but you never know, I had this happen to me a lot of the times in the tournaments. I don't know, your unit is not in an on-hold position, the links run through. But your Simcity can save you from this kind of mistake. Take a look at this position. The links go in, I don't have a unit in here, but I have the time to react, right? By the time the links go in here, I have some time to react to this. Because of my Simcity, and that meaning the pylon and the gateway positioning here, I can immediately warp in a unit to block these links from running into my main. Links running into your main, meaning they can scout a lot, they can maybe deal some damage to the probes, just cause some chaos in here. this zealot will not fight, and he will not win against these links. He will fight them, but he will not win. But he will buy enough time for the reinforcements to come in and for additional warpins to finish. This is an example where Simcity buys you enough time that the Zerg player will not have enough information, or not as much information as he possibly could have. Now this is going to be an example of how it should be. You should have a unit in the wall, so the links will not run in. Again, the same purpose of this adept is that the time that it takes for the links to kill the adept, the reinforcements will come in and defend this. And another example of a good Simcity near the nexus. No unit in the wall. It's a mistake, happens to the best of us. Shit, I didn't see the links coming in. I forgot to warp in here. But I have another Simcity wall off near my main base, where I can use the same tactic and to block the links in. You can see the Zerg is trying to go into my middle line, but it cannot go through the adept. He could have tried swinging through the top, but there's another adept in here. Now, the tricky part is, it's important to have these buildings placed like this, because if there's only a pylon, there's no possible way of a single unit blocking this area in here, because Nexus is a big building, and the very corner of it, it doesn't quite work as other buildings are. But I will be explaining this kind of dynamic in the another episode. So you can see links can sneak in here. But I buy myself enough time with the warpins to finish. The shield battery obviously is great to have in these kind of situations. The links will not go through. But basically you can buy yourself additional time with this kind of position between the buildings. I like this one especially a lot, because if you do it on time, the Zerg will not be able to get into the main and cause even more chaos. So basically when you're building a base, try to think of a purpose of a building that you're going for. Especially if you're creating a lot of the buildings at the same time, try not to spread them around too much. It takes a long time for the probe to go from one direction to another. You're losing additional minerals, and that's never a good thing. Try to build your buildings closer to each other. The important buildings like Tech for the Forge, Twilight Council, and so on, Stargate, try to hug them in the corner of your base, somewhere safe from the danger. This is not going to be a game-winning strategy. You're not going to be immediately gaining 500 MMR because of this tactic, but it can prevent you from losing a lot of the game simply because of some crucial situations like your Forge or Twilight Council getting sniped in the last moment, the links getting through, like you could see in the previous clip. So this is just the things that you should be doing as a Starcraft player. Keep your base clean. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.